Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into the financial world of Plains GP Holdings, a master limited partnership in the oil and gas arena. Get ready for a wild ride, because this report is about a massive sale. Who's selling, who's buying, and most importantly, what does it all mean for your investments? Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss these filings with investors. Scroll unit of starts, think of it as an urgent completion scroll. So what are we looking at today? This is a Form 8K filing. Companies use this form to announce major events to their investors. Think of it as an urgent message about something very important happening within the business. The date on this report is June 17, 2025. The main event is listed under entry into a material definitive agreement. This basically means they've signed a big important deal. In this case, it involves selling off a significant chunk of their business. One of Plains GP Holdings subsidiaries, where the company owns controlling interest, Plains All American Pipeline, is selling one of its subsidiaries. Let's get into the details. Plains All American Pipeline is selling Plains Midstream Canada ULC to Keyera Corp, a Canadian company. Plains Midstream Canada ULC represents almost all of Plains All American Pipeline's natural gas liquids business. Natural gas liquids, or NGLs, are things like propane and butane, which come from natural gas processing. Keyera is buying this NGL business for about $5.15 billion, which is Canadian dollars. But remember, that number is subject to change. It could go up or down based on certain adjustments. Now, here's what Plains All American Pipeline is keeping. They're holding on to almost all of their NGL assets in the United States, as well as all of their crude oil assets in Canada. Think of it this way. They're selling their Canadian crude oil business. When will this deal actually happen? They expect it to close sometime in the first quarter of 2026, so early 2026. But there are a few things that need to happen first. They need to get approval from regulators or governing bodies and satisfy other conditions before the sale can actually go through. The agreement, also known as the SPA, which is the share purchase agreement, contains all the boring standard stuff, such as the basic promises from both sides, assurances that everything is as it seems, and ways the deal can be called off, aka terminated. It also includes indemnification, like insurance in case any of those promises break. The company basically said that the content of this report is not to be taken as a matter of law. To keep investors informed, Plains All American Pipeline and Plains GP Holdings put out a press release announcing the sale. This press release is included as an exhibit to this report. Also, the company plans to update its investor presentation on its website with more information about the deal. This links to the press release from June 17, 2025, which gives even more details about the sale. It is generally a more marketing-friendly version than this 8K. Now let's put this sale into perspective. Plains GP Holdings is streamlining its operations by selling off its Canadian NGL business. This likely means they want to focus on their core assets in the United States and crude oil in Canada. This could be a strategic move to improve profitability or reduce debt. One thing to keep in mind is that the oil and gas industry is constantly changing. Prices fluctuate, regulations change, and new technologies emerge. This sale could be a way for Plains GP Holdings to adapt to these changes and position itself for future success. However, we would need to compare financial balance sheets before and after the sale to determine the actual effect. Looking at this move, Plains GP Holdings appears to be setting a clear direction, one that leans into its strengths in the US and Canadian crude oil operations. This focus could lead to stronger financial performance in those areas. With the sale of Canadian natural gas liquids business, Plains could see the impact on their books if revenue and profit grows or diminishes. One potential downside is the lost revenue from the Canadian NGL business. The company is obviously thinking they will reinvest that $515 billion CAD into a better business. Okay, that wraps up our quick look at Plains GP Holdings' latest filing. What do you think about this sale? Is it a smart move, or are they selling off a valuable asset? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give that like button a tap and subscribe for more corporate decoder videos. Also, don't forget to check out our Discord community in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.